Thank you for being with me again on this podcast. Today I get to sit with Chris Erdmann. And this is going to be fun. I'm really excited for this. Chris, I could give a highlight of what I think I see today, but I want to start by going back. But let's start with today. A seasoned real estate broker, for sure. A builder. You're in the middle of building a beautiful custom home. The history around the world of real estate, of acquisition, brokerage, a lot of history there. But I really am excited about a whole bunch of other parts that we're going to get into about this that I think help explain some of why you're so good at that. So let's start with you as a kid. You as a kid. I want to hear about you as a kid and the earliest influences, the earliest messages of belief that you said, yeah, okay, this is how I'm becoming. Mm-hmm. What do you think of?
Wow, that's a big question.
It is. Yeah. It's huge.
It's a huge question. I grew up in a small town, and I feel like my family was, a lot like other families in the U.S., but also very different. Growing up in a small town of Lynden, Dutch community, a lot of great people, have a lot of great friends there. And my dad was a 30-year Navy veteran, and met my mom in Philippines. And I was, my brother that's 2 years older than me, he was born in the Philippines. They moved back to Lynden because my grandparents lived there. My grandfather was an entrepreneur, investor, and
this is your mom's parents lived in Lynden?
No,
your dad's parents lived in Lynden. Your mom was born in the Philippines.
Correct. Yeah, my mom was born in the Philippines, and they met, I think, somewhere around Manila or Cebu. It was actually Cebu, and so they met there and ended up starting to grow the family a bit more in Lynden, and that's where I feel like I gained a lot of my character growing up, and a lot of influences through my childhood.
Now, brother, 2 years older?
Yeah, I got a brother that's 2 years older, helicopter mechanic, and does really great at what he does. Travels the world doing it, and got two other brothers. They're half brothers, but we treat each other like real brothers. So,
right.
Another brother in Meridian, Idaho. And then another brother that lives in Seattle part-time, and then also, but mostly down in the Bay Area with his wife.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of the early influences, my dad, sounds like he had some similarities. Had some similarities to your dad, just, no BS, called it like he saw it. And, a high level of expectation, military father. Yeah. And, there wasn't a lot of give there, but, I could look back and realize he did love us the best way he knew how. And the way he did was he taught us how to work, and to do a good job. And there was no other option. You're going to work for whatever you're going to get.
Yeah.
And so he's taught me how to be resilient in his own way. And then my mom, also taught us to be resilient because, she didn't need to work, but she wanted to get out there and work for herself. She's had a lot of pride, and she did a great job being a stay-at-home mom. It gave us a lot of love and care. Also really a little rough around the edges sometimes, but it gave us character. Our parents gave us grit, and taught us how to roll up our own sleeves.
What did your dad do in the military?
Yeah, he was a chief. He was a chief in the military.
And so that role is a leadership role responsible for keeping people on task. Yeah.
Yeah. And he had his way about it. Wasn't kind, I heard. But I heard he did a good job, but he didn't talk about it too much. So, the house was, it was loving in its own way, but also very, very tough at times. And I think that got me to start kind of my journey of like that grit that I'm talking about. And growing up in Lynden, I was, pretty different than everybody else growing up there. I think I was like one of 3 Asians, even though I'm half and half. I was one of 3 Asians, like growing up, and so always a little bit different. And you kind of start realizing that at a young age.
You felt that at a young age.
Yeah. And even some of the teachers were a little rougher because of it. And so when I got into 4th grade, there's a guy teacher named Mr. Sondel, and he was one of the best teachers that I could look back in my lifetime. Him and another guy named Mr. Pugh. But I always thought like, hey, I was a little slower growing up, or at school. Maybe I wasn't that good at school, but this guy just turned me around in 1 year, where I went from, just kind of doubting myself in the school system to all of a sudden in 4th grade doing like 10th grade math and drawing pictures that were, to me, looking back, were kind of out of this world for a 4th grader.
Right.
And he did this, I think, for a lot of kids in his class. And it was just like to see myself excel, and then see my parents get so surprised, like how fast I could excel in months, or even 9 months.
Tell me as you think about this teacher. He made you feel a certain way.
Yeah, he did.
How did he do that?
He showed interest and kindness. He made things fun. He presented these math problems with a system that I could like latch onto and like figure it out and keep working.
Story problems,
worksheets. There was money involved too.
Right.
Yeah, there was fake money involved. So part of it was every month there was an auction, and based on what you did in school, you made this money, this monopoly money, and you could buy. And he brought all amazing things into class every month
that you could buy with your monopoly
money. We could bid on it.
Really?
Yeah, so we're bidding on things, and at that, in the 4th grade, I realized like what a lot of people were saying to me was not true. Like I could excel, I could do a lot more than what people were making me believe, even at a young age.
Now, when you say people making you believe that or saying that about you, do you have a memory of someone saying, "Chris, you can't do that," or "Chris, you're a little slow," or is it just the way they made you feel?
Yeah, there was definitely times when people would say stuff, maybe I didn't belong there, or
right,
things along that.
Right.
I choose not to live there too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like those were opportunities of growth for me even at that time.
I'm so fascinated by one teacher that had this ability, and you said kindness. He showed interest. He made it fun. I'm thinking, wow, that doesn't sound like a difficult formula. Well, why doesn't that exist very much? You know what I mean? Why is it the one teacher that shines like neon and the rest don't?
Yeah. I don't know why, but I do know that he took pride, and I think he actually just enjoyed what he was doing.
Yeah.
And then in the 7th grade, I had a similar experience again. It was my teacher by the name of Mr. Pugh, and right away he was also very charismatic. He taught me how to play chess, and so I used to play against guys in the chess club, and we used to play every week. It used to be the whole class, and I realized I was excelling pretty quickly at chess at a young age, and to the point where I was playing one of my oldest brothers and whatnot. And looking back, remembering back, I did beat Mr. Pugh in front of the whole class, and I think I actually did. I don't know if he let me. I don't think he did.
Right.
But it was a big moment.
Felt great no matter what.
Yeah.
Right.
It felt great. And and he had that ability. He made sure, not just me, but I noticed that in the classroom, he made sure like other kids felt like he believed in him. Mm-hmm. And that was a big thing. And mm-hmm. I think he prepared me for going through high school, mm-hmm. you know, mm-hmm. just mm-hmm. set the stage mm-hmm. and kind of took us under his wing. Like we were almost like family.
I asked this question, I've asked this question 100 times in various talks and things. Mm-hmm. I ask people, visualize the greatest person you personally know. Mm-hmm. It can't be just somebody you've heard about. I mean, you personally know them, the greatest person. And people think, and I go, okay, do you got it? Do you got them in their head? Okay. I said, do you know why they're the greatest person? And I said, tell me if I'm wrong. It's because the way they make you feel about yourself. That's why they're the greatest person. Somehow you feel taller. Mm-hmm. You feel more able. You feel smarter. You feel competent. You feel important.
Right.
And that's why they're the greatest person. Fitzgerald describes in his book, he describes The Great Gatsby. He describes Gatsby in a paragraph. I have it saved on in my phone, this paragraph. Mm-hmm. And that paragraph describing Gatsby is that person.
Yeah.
And he describes how Gatsby would make you feel taller.
Right.
That what was important to you, he understood. Mm-hmm. And it describes exactly in a novel narrative what he did to people. This personality would show up and all of a sudden you were bigger, you were better,
right,
because of them. And I've always been fascinated by these kind of people. I had one, Miss Vicki Haynes in 7th grade. I was an introvert. I was afraid to get off the locker.
Sure.
Oh man, she just made me feel like I was normal.
Yeah.
And she could see me, you know. Mm-hmm. I think it's to be aspired, and you've never forgotten it. Yeah. All these years, boom, boom, these two people. What if they weren't there? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Those two people definitely changed the course of my life in my early years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And it seems that they were, I mean, it seems that there was a contrast there too between, okay, home is very structured, disciplined, it sounded like. Mm-hmm. I know mine was. And the kindness, the fun, they made it fun.
Yeah, stood out.
My home wasn't fun. Mm-hmm. I don't remember it being fun.
Yeah.
It was safe and it was fine.
Sure.
But it wasn't giggles.
Yeah. Sounds very similar. Similar.
I think this is awesome. Well, yeah. God bless them. Yeah. So did that it formed you, but what were some of the changes that as an adult you look back, what were the changes that were happening in you with these influences?
You know, even after you asking me some of these questions, I started thinking like the other night, looking back on my life, it's like, wow, as I'm thinking about who did make an impact on me, I'm like, wow, these people really impacted me, because I could look back on 4th grade and realize that applies to today. Yeah. The class of that 4th grade class with Mr. Sondel told me I could outwork anybody.
Wow.
You know, I don't have to be the smartest, you know, but just as long as I know how to do the work, figure out how to do the work, and if I could have fun with it, start doing it well, and do it enough times, like I could outwork people.
Yeah. That's your superpower, Chris. You can outwork them.
I could, but I can do it because I'm having fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I can, you know, that translated into my early years of real estate when cold calling was like, I don't know, everybody just hates cold calling. And I could look back at me, like my early years, I'm like, I loved cold calling. And it wasn't that I was great at it at first. It was that I was just willing to go through the pain to become good, at least good. Mm-hmm.
You outworked them.
Yeah, I'd outwork them, and I would look at the clues. I'd look back at every call and see the clues of what I learned. Oh, this this made this person mad when I called them, or this made this person laugh,
Right.
you know, and I could start putting pieces together and realize how to actually make a phone call and turn somebody grumpy into somebody that actually wants to talk about their problem of real estate.
Right.
And it translated, that was in 2006. And I became like the top producing at the Century 21 office in Bellingham. By doing cold calls or just talking to people, I became the second highest producer in the office in the first 6 to 9 months.
Uh-huh.
And my designated broker was blown away.
Like this kid, he's killing it.
Yeah, I was killing it, but it was just that I was willing to outwork people with and be uncomfortable doing it.
And I love the debrief too. That after each call, it's like, okay, let's analyze this. What's working? What isn't? What did I do that made them mad? What did I do that they laughed at?
Yeah,
you know, that debrief and refine. Okay, I'm going to do better this call, and you can get better quick if you do that. You know,
if you're paying attention.
Yeah, if you're paying attention.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm backtracking a bit, but that transition to real estate at all to begin with, what got you thinking in that way?
Oh yeah, you know, I actually never really wanted to become a real estate agent, and I was on the path of what I thought I wanted to do. I was in construction most of my life after high school, while going to college and whatnot. And I was a project manager at this structural steel company, estimating and bidding jobs. And it was a corporation. I was doing really well. I was making them a lot of money. And it was a couple things. One, if you made them too much money, they'd question you, like, hey, how do we make so much money on this? I said, well, you know, we bid it, and there was other companies bidding it, and we just won the bid, and we made money. Or if you made a little too not enough money, then you get questioned too. But I was really doing really well in my position and really excelling the company in that division. And I didn't like being questioned when we're winning.
Right.
And so that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But the one thing that rubbed me the wrong way was that I had a daughter at a young age, and I didn't like asking permission to go to her plays or her swim meets. And I felt like that was probably the biggest rub, is trying to ask for permission for something that was so meaningful to me.
Right.
And I know it makes sense, and you should ask permission. But that was enough for me to be like, I wanna spend more of my time with my daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call my own shots.
I want to call my own shots.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to.
So real estate, it's not something everybody thinks of as an option, especially at a young age. Like, oh, I'll just go into real estate sales. Where did you see that modeled, or who did you see that was doing that intrigued you?
Yeah, a friend of mine, Josh Shiflett, he for years he's been a top producer at the Remax, and he was telling me, Chris, you should try this. You'd be great at it. You just really be great at real estate. I would always turn him down, and but during that rub, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing really well at sale. This is estimating coordinates, a form of sales. And I also helped a friend of mine help promote his company, and I realized I did a really great job promoting his company and getting people to show up to his business. And I was like, what can I do? And my options were start a concrete company, because I knew how to do that, start a welding company because I knew how to do that, or maybe I'll try this thing called real estate. And it just seemed like the lowest bar to get into, of like not having very much overhead.
Right.
And so I decided to go get my license. I quit my job and just said, I'm going to try this out.
So the two other options, concrete and welding, are trades that you don't just start doing that in a day. I mean, the actual trade takes a lot of training to do it right.
Yeah.
Where did you learn those things?
Yeah. In high school, I used to work for my buddy's dad, just doing concrete work on the side, and while I was going to school.
Yeah.
And then a bit after school. It was a really tough job, but it was, once you get it down, it's a pretty simple concept of how to become good. And so I actually ended up doing quite a bit of concrete after quitting that job and while starting real estate. Huh. And so I did concrete on the side for
flat work mostly.
Mostly flat work, and 90% of it was flat work. And I realized I was making a lot more money doing that 3 half days a week than I ever did having a regular job.
Right.
Yeah.
These are the puzzle pieces that come into like light bulb. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about welding? I mean, people go to trade school to learn that.
Yeah. When I was doing concrete, one of my buddies said that his shop was looking for a welder. I didn't know how to weld. I welded in shop class in high school a little bit. So I understood the concept. And so I just went in there, and I was kind of tired of working in the elements. And I decided to go to this place called Ferrotech. And then they said, we're hiring, but we're only looking to hire journeyman fabricators. And so we're not taking on anybody new. And I said, well, let me show you something. And so I saw a set of plans. I said, look at those set of plans. I'll tell you, I could read these plans. So I showed him I could read the plans. And then I told him that I could do it. I learned how to do a little bit of welding in high school, but I didn't really know.
Right.
And then I told him, well, I was like 19 years old, and I was running concrete crews of guys that were like in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. And he kind of scratched his head. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, you could give them a call, ask. And so he verified, and this guy named was George. He's another person in my life that kind of like took me under his wing. Yeah. As soon as I proved myself, he hired me on the spot, and then from then he taught me everything about metal fabrication that I know today. And I probably forgot a lot, but we built some pretty amazing things, and I learned a lot about project management and from them,
you sold yourself.
Sold myself, yeah.
Right.
And then I started going to school, going to taking college classes and whatnot, and then I went on to be that project manager. So, yeah.
I think that there's some entrepreneurial influences. Admiring people that own the company. You didn't want to just work there, so that there's flexibility, but you're maybe in all of that too. I hear a lot of management. You're managing people. You're the one running a crew. So that leadership piece, and you just sold yourself to this particular fabricator. So there's a sales leadership piece of you. Where did that come from? Do you think that that's part of the influence that these teachers had on you, as to be more confident in who you are and push yourself out there?
I'm not exactly sure where it came from. I've heard stories about my grandpa being an entrepreneur. And that I don't know that entrepreneurship is passed down through DNA or anything.
Probably not.
And
maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. And then, my mom's told me stories about when she was in the Philippines and what things that she's done as far as like, she found an apartment that she wanted to rent. She wanted to move out. And next thing you know, she rents the whole building, starts renting out all the rooms. And nobody taught her how to do that.
Right. Probably live for free doing that.
Yeah. But, my mom was really resourceful as we were growing up. And so I think the resourcefulness of like, making our costumes, the way, cooking, the way we ate was pretty amazing. And she should have owned a restaurant.
Really? Oh my gosh.
But my mom was really resourceful. So I think part of that rubbed off on me. My dad could fix anything. He'd do it in front of us, have us help him. And so just, watching and helping out, I think those kind of like transfer
Right.
into real world.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. And are your mom and dad, I know your mom's still with us. Is
Yeah.
your dad too?
No, my dad passed away when I was 19 of cancer. And then my mom's still here, and she's doing really well. Very looks really young, probably 30 years younger than she is.
Really?
She looks 30 years younger than she is.
Wow.
And
wow. That's awesome.
yeah, so she's
still here. But
she's
you
still
lost your dad at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, you became a father at, well, let me just say it this way. You are the youngest father that I've ever met.
Sure.
16, right?
Yeah, 16 years old. Her, the mother and I were both just turned 16 when my daughter was born.
And today, if I may say so, is your daughter's 30th birthday.
Yeah, today is her, July 8th.
And so,
30th birthday.
I mean, a father for 30 years as of today, but a father at age 16. Now, I don't know about, I think I'm really safe to say that I sure as hell wasn't ready to be a father at 16. I'm not sure I was at 22, but I can't even get my head around that in terms of now you're in high school. Tell me just logistically, were you able to just stay with school? Were you, I mean, what support, family support, the logistics of being such young parents, both you and the mom.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a classroom and what that syllabus would have looked like to say, here, this is going to ready you for that. I don't even know what that outline would look like.
Well, I took a parenting class after our daughter was born. They had sex ed afterwards. They had parenting afterwards. Right. So it was a quarter too late. But
a quarter too late. Tell me about that. And it can be all kinds of things that might come to mind, but on her 30th birthday, I'm sure you're thinking about the day you became a dad.
Oh yeah.
I think every parent does on their kids' birthdays. They think back, who were they when that happened, and just tell me about that, because I have to believe that just accelerated all kinds of things in you as a man, that now there's a little daughter.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was looking at pictures of when she was born. I looked 12.
Yeah.
I look young, Yeah. And when the day she was born, even before, but the day she was born, I just had this innate feeling that I've never felt before. And I think I could speak for a lot of parents. It's just like, I set my eyes on this little girl, this little body, and I see these eyes, and I could just feel like, oh wow, this is it. I'm supposed to raise a loved daughter, secure, and provide for her. Mm-hmm. And nobody truly said that. Nobody's ever said that to me. Mm-hmm. But it just took over. It just took over. Yeah. And I knew that I was going to stick by her side until she was off on her own. Yeah. And I can't explain it, but I just knew that. And, a lot of people can't imagine having a kid so young. And I would say that we were fortunate, like her mother and I were fortunate. Her parents really, after the shock, kind of supported us going to school and taking care of her. My parents, after the shock, really supported just helping take care of us. We're all just kids. Right. I have a kid. I'm a kid.
Right.
And we couldn't have done it without all the grandparents. Mm-hmm. My daughter is really lucky. She had, I feel like, 5 sets of grandparents. Wow. Everybody loved her. And it shows because, raising her, her mom and I would take her to school and or go to her plays and whatnot, and teachers would go out of their way, especially probably because we were so young, just letting us know, like, you guys, just so you know, we could tell Aisha's really loved And and with the way we could tell is like she always makes other people feel included. And I remember those moments like, wow, this is really great, but when you're in the driver's seat and you're going 100 miles an hour, you can't really think about, you're not thinking about getting out. You're just thinking about taking care of business.
Right. Where you're going.
Yeah. So there was no time to be like, oh, this life's overwhelming, or I wish it was different. It was more, I just remember always trying to do our best, like having fun and taking care of her, spending time. I would say that's the biggest thing that I knew what to do. That's the only thing I really knew what to do is after I learned how to change diapers, just spend time and just take care of things as they come up. And there's a lot of moments we didn't know what to do and we had to ask the grandparents or kind of research. I remember other parents were giving me books to read, and I would read them.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm thankful for all that support, but I don't think kids are, even at that age, I didn't think having a kid was complicated. It was just, you just had to be there and you had to say no to other things.
Wow. Yeah. Yes. Well, and there's the perhaps the biggest hurdle is that age is typically a somewhat selfish age, and to say no to other things. And yet this is now your priority. This is now your commitment. And so, tell me about finishing school. Were you able to go to normal school during that time and finish normally? Did you finish in a different program? How did that work?
Yeah, we still continued high school, and then I ended up going to the community college and getting my high school diploma there. Yeah. I think a lot of kids do what's called Running Start now.
Yeah, right.
And her mom did the same, did something very similar as well.
Yeah.
And so we finished school. It was, we didn't always have money. A lot of times we were broke, or I was broke.
Yeah.
So as a young parent, paying the bills is kind of tough as a teenager.
Right.
When you're out of the house.
Right. You can't even get some jobs until you're 18. So.
Yeah. Well, I started working at, I think, 14.
Right.
But, I moved out at 17 and, so provided a house and whatnot and kind of doing the full deal.
Yeah. Tell me about naming this beautiful daughter at that age. I'm curious who came up with her name? Was it mutual? Did you?
Yeah. I think it was her mom's idea because her grandma had a friend named Aisha that she worked with, a really lovely person. And we both knew we didn't want to name whatever our kid was going to be, a boy or girl. We knew we didn't want a common name.
Right.
And but so we named her Aisha.
I love it.
And
it's such a big decision, no matter how mature you are. I think naming a child is a big decision, but here you are, 16, naming a child.
I'm sure glad she turned out to be a girl because I couldn't think of a good boy's name.
Oh my gosh. And to extend that, you've had the privilege of not only raising her, but now working with her in the brokerage world.
Yeah, we worked together for a while. She was actually, she was really good when she was in it with us. And, my first home was like $150,000. I think her first home was $1.5 million.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And, but she did really well. But, she actually decided to start working with animals. And so that's her passion. It's been her passion for a long time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, what a journey that has been. Back to real estate. Real estate has so many hats.
Sure does.
So many different specialties, so many different ways. And I would say that at least since I've known you, your recognition comes from the way you see the real estate brokerage world. You're one of the very, very top brokers in the Northwest, and you see that world clearly. Give me some secret sauce. As a broker,
Yeah.
in that world, as you know it as well as anybody knows it, how do you keep performing in that top percentage of brokers? How do you see the brokerage business? What do you have to do really, really right to just build a great brokerage business?
So are we talking sales or brokerage?
Well, I think owning a brokerage is different than perhaps just being an independent sales agent within a brokerage. You've done both.
Yeah.
So put it all in a bucket. You're successful with both. What does it take?
For sales, first of all, I think like you got to love what you do. If you don't at least like it, I think you got to like it, love it. If you don't, then you shouldn't be doing it. Or you got to find a way to love it.
Yeah.
And so just having that burning desire is number one for me. And number two, it's all simple. What worked for me, I don't have anything magical. It's just you got to do what it takes. You have to roll up your sleeves and do the work. A lot of people I hear don't like doing open houses, and I gotta admit it's not fun putting those signs out sometimes, but put them out. When you're getting started, just put them out and do as many as possible. When I started, I was doing up to 6 open houses a weekend. I would do them even a half hour apart, and pack up my signs, and then go to the next one. Yeah. And sticking out those open houses. It was usually the last client that came through 5 minutes late was the most serious person. And there's countless times where that last person is your client. The other is do things that other people are not willing to do. So back then, for what I did for open houses, instead of having 4 open house signs, I had 40 open house signs. And people would eventually come
Drew them in from Seattle.
Yeah. People would come in and be like, you have so many open house signs here. We had to see who was putting all these signs out everywhere, where I'd have 4 to 6 out on every corner.
Yeah.
And that was enough to draw people in.
Right.
So, and then, I got started before the internet was really a big deal. It was just, or internet leads were becoming a big deal. And so it was really, and I'm thankful for that because I still utilize these skills today. And I couldn't tell you starting out how many people I'd meet just standing in line at the fruit stand or the grocery store, at the bank, and those people became my clients. Or even if they didn't become my clients, they would become clients of people that I knew, like my banker or my mortgage person.
Right.
Oh, you're already closing a deal? Or you're already working on buying a house? Who's your mortgage loan officer? Oh, no, you got to use mine. You know? And I remember this is my first 6 to 9 months. This lady named Linda Elliott worked at Wells Fargo Bank. She's like, Chris, it's really slow in here in my office. It's so slow. But you know what? I'm busy.
Right.
And I'm busy because you're sending me deals.
Right.
And she would brag about me. And then she became really busy. And I remember there was 2 months out that first year, she sent me 6 clients, and I closed twice, and I closed all 6 twice. Like, so,
Right.
Just
reciprocal.
Yeah, just because I was putting her needs and wants in the forefront, you know, and so, and then she introduced me to other loan officers, and they also reciprocated.
Yeah.
And it was just a really interesting.
So people come and get pre-qualified, but they don't necessarily have a broker yet.
Yeah.
And they would say, well, let me tell you. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, I think a lot of agents are doing this pretty well now. But it was really find out who your A team is, build your A team, find out who the cheerleaders are in your life. And I focused on building them up as much as possible. But then I was deliberate back. I would say, you know, I would love to earn your business too. And most of them would reciprocate. as best as they could.
Right.
And so just, kind of building your team.
But you brought value first. You gave first.
You always have to give first.
Right. Yeah.
Because if, I think that's the big killer in business and life. If you're always asking, you're going to empty that pot and they're going to turn away.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it's easier to fill everybody else's pot as best as possible, and the right people, the people that believe in you.
Yeah.
And then, if you're doing that for 12 people, it's going to come back.
Especially in a small community like that, where you're really commanding a community that,
Yeah. And internet leads, I got into those. I did really well with I was, I think, one of the first Redfin partner agents when that started coming around. I just got online, looked, I'm like, wow, what's this? And started getting Redfin leads. And then when Zillow came out, I invested in that. And that was good for a while, but then it turned into, you're kind of paying the beast. And I decided not to do that. And I cut that off cold turkey 1 year. And at that time, I think we were spending about $10,000 to $12,000 a month. And it was great business, but I didn't like knowing that if a phone call came through during dinner time, that how much it cost.
Right. You gotta go.
Yeah. So totally cut that off. And I think the way that I keep doing sales is basically just staying in touch with your sphere. Just staying in touch with it, build a system around that.
Do you have like a CRM sort of tickler that with mailers or updates or anything that kind of automatically keeps you in touch with your clients in your sphere?
I have been using one. I canceled it, and I'm right now researching a couple right now, but mostly it's my phone. Just picking up the phone and checking it and calling people back.
Right.
I think by the time you're this many years in the business, like if you've called enough people and you've helped out enough people, that hopefully your phone is just ringing.
Yeah. You've been a part of some partnerships. I want you to give me some lessons that you've learned about yourself or business lessons that you feel would be helpful for people to know about partnerships.
Yeah, partnerships. That's I've had crash courses in that, and I've had one really great partnership over the past 11 years, and 11 years ago, I hired my assistant Stacy, and I got lucky because I had a revolving door of assistants. It's hard to find somebody that really matches your needs sometimes, but when you find them, you got to treat them well.
Right.
And so for this particular person, she came into the door. The office manager introduced us. We worked together what seemed to be like 2 or 3 weeks. I was paying her just fine, and she said, "Oh, I got to go away, get a surgery." And I said, "For what?" She's like, "Well, I got one kidney and it's not working, and I'm getting one donated to me." I'm like, so when are you going to be back?
Just that? When will you be back?
Yeah.
Well, maybe never.
Yeah. We didn't know. We didn't really know.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, okay. And I've only known her 2 or 3 weeks. I'm like, okay, well, this was a great thing. And I wished her well. And my office manager came in. She's like, "Hey, Stacy's gone. Let's should we just stop paying her until she comes back?" Like, nope, just keep paying her. And I just knew like she was a good person.
Right.
And so I just kept paying her, hoping she would come back.
Right.
And
first of all, survive, then come back.
Yeah.
Right.
And I didn't really think too much about it. So she ended up coming back, and we never talked about it. And besides, like, the normal stuff. Oh, I'm glad she's doing well and this and that. And so we got back to work. And then after a few months passed by, she's like, I'm like, I said, do you have any goals of what you want to make? And she's like, oh, I want to make, I forgot, if it's like $50,000 or something like that. And this was many years ago.
Right.
I'm like, well, that's nice. I'm like, what about something bigger? And then she's like, okay. And finally, we finally went to the number, like, why don't we call it 6 figures? And she's like, oh, that would be awesome.
That'll work.
Yeah. And so I said, okay, let's make you 6 figures. And after a year went by, like, she made a portion of like what I would make. And after a year went by, we're like, oh, what were our goals again? Oh, I was supposed to make 6 figures and you were supposed to make X amount. And I'm like, well, how much did you make? She's like, I think it was like $99,000 she made. And I was like, she was extremely happy because, that's the most money she's made. I found that I was extremely happy because I helped accomplish somebody's goal. And I realized helping accomplish somebody's goal made me help me accomplish my goal as well.
Right.
But the partnership there, I think why that worked so well is not just because like she's a kind, good person and hardworking, but because we have very different skills.
Right.
And our minds work very differently. But what's interesting, how we process things may be very different, but oftentimes we come to similar answers, or whether together or or separate. Sometimes we have to hash it out. Right. And whatnot, and that made us better,
Yeah, right.
And so the different set of skills that were opposite than mine, really made it complementary, and so it's been working out well till this day.
And she would you consider her? She has a real estate license as well. Mm-hmm. Would you consider her like an associate broker with you, or a personal assistant, or both? Yeah,
no, she's no longer assistant. Mm-hmm. She graduated from assistant to buyer's agent to full on agent, and even becoming one of the top performing buyer's agent in Whatcom County at one time.
Yeah, and
now she's co-owner in what used to be a brokerage called Blue Ink, but we still own the company. It's a community. We call it a community, but it's under a team management through EXP. And so she's 50% owner of that. So and then, but now she asked to be a broker on the team instead of being 50-50 partners, because now she's a mom, and she wants to.
Is she going to build her own team under her?
No, she just wants to do regular sales and still work with me.
Yeah.
Seems like she's super happy, and
I would contend this whole downstream may have gone a whole different way.
Yeah.
Had you not said, no, we're going to continue to pay you and hope you come back, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in other words, if you didn't, that hope would have died right there.
That hope would have died.
But I don't know. I see it too as a piece of compassion, because she's a single mom.
No, not single mom. She's married.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But in that she's going through this tough, that's not just like a little carpal tunnel surgery. This is serious.
Yeah.
But that you said, you already got enough tough on your plate right now. I'm going to make sure you're getting a paycheck to,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's it's not only kind, Chris, but it's wise. When you find somebody that's great, you got to
do your best.
Make a commitment, and yeah.
I went with my gut feeling, and I did have 3 weeks of like working together.
Yeah.
But years later, she said her and her husband were talking about it, and they talked to me. They're like, they finally asked, why did you do that?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I just felt like it was the right thing.
Yeah. Right.
And then she said, that's what built the trust for you.
Right.
And she said, we would never ask for that. And she let me know how meaningful it was to them at that time.
Yeah.
I could only imagine with the medical and whatnot.
Yeah. Right.
But I was kind of clueless in how much it meant to them, but it was really nice to hear about it years later.
I read this recently, and I'm going to get the exact quote wrong, but it's going to be real close. And it was a Richard Branson quote, who's one of my favorites. But it said something very close to teach your employees everything they need so that they don't have to stay with you, and treat them so well that even though they know everything to do their own thing, they stay because they love how they're being treated. You know, I find a lot of people, they want to hold back what they know with an employee because they don't want to lose them. They're afraid of losing them. So they just keep them like knowing just enough to stay there, but not knowing enough to go out on their own. And Richard Branson says the opposite. You teach them everything you know. You're as capable as I am now to go start your own thing and do your own thing. But I'm going to treat you so well that you're not going to want to leave, you know?
Yeah.
And it feels to me like that's the way you handle people, not only Stacy, but I've just watched that openness. You know, you'll share what you know with people. You don't have a fear of I'm gonna create competition, or I'm gonna lose somebody by teaching them. I think that giving, truly free giving, is what unlocks the possibility for you to receive. You know?
I do believe that. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
That's really kind of you to say.
Yeah.
I do believe in sharing what you know and letting people do what they will with it.
Right.
And hopefully they could excel better than you.
Yeah.
You know, there's more than enough business out there for everybody.
Yeah. So partnerships, I'm picking up that one of the things you learned is the value of different but complementary skill sets.
Yeah, that's definitely been one of our recipes for success. You know, I've had other partnerships where, you know, if the partnership or the skill sets are too close to the same, it may not be the healthiest things, because at that point in time, who's going to make the decisions? It could create competition if the company's not structured right. And so I've seen things fall apart because the skill sets are not diverse enough. And so, and at that point, you know, why do you need them?
Right.
Why do you need them? So if it's just for moral support or to be brave, then that's probably not a good enough reason.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like putting a deal together. You know, if you're putting a sale together, you need somebody has the money. You might need somebody that does the management and somebody that can put the deal together. You know, it's all very different set of skills.
Yeah. It's true. And maybe the contractor that will do the work on it.
Yeah, the contractor, like right? And so on.
Right, exactly, yeah. But very different positions on the field, right? Different positions. No, I agree with that. I do. I do. And I think that like-minded values is another thing. And one of the values is work ethic. At least it's been my experience just watching a lot of partnerships, is that one of the things that makes them break down is, you know, somebody's there just busting their ass 60 hours a week, just doing everything they can do. And at least it's the perception that another is popping in, you know, an hour a day for a couple of days a week. And yet they want an equal split in the partnership efforts. Yeah. That will the metaphor is, are we all in the boat pulling on these oars with everything we got, with different skill sets? Now you've got some horsepower. You know,
exactly. Yeah. You know, that's another thing that makes this partnership work with Stacy and I, is like, I've never met somebody else that could match or exceed my my work values and the kind of pulling on the oars. Like she's always been in there and been able to either match me or even at times beat me.
Yeah. Right.
And I mean, that's what you
everything.
want.
Yeah. I feel the same about Ryan. I mean, it's just like, wow. I mean, he truly sets a bar on, we're here, we're focused, we're getting things done.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't let up for a second.
Yeah.
And I truly appreciate that.
And it gives you a lot of grace when they can't do that too. You know, they're out sick or something happens in life and, you know, they need you to step up for a few months. Like,
right.
It's a
pleasure to do it then.
pleasure to do it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Come back when you're ready.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that in a big way. So you also, I mean, so many different directions I want to go with this, but I remember years ago, it was after Power Players, we had a chapter of coaching. I remember the first time I saw this piece of dirt that now you're building this custom home on. And it took my breath away then. I went, oh my gosh.
The dirt?
The dirt.
Yeah, I remember
the dirt,
your
the
reaction.
setting was just like, oh my gosh, this is, you know, it's just literally, I can picture it right now, just the greenery and the stream and the bridge and all this, you can't even describe how this Arboretum-esque picture of this setting, and yet close proximity to everything. It's like, wow, where did this come from?
Yeah. I remember your reaction. I was shocked because you see a lot of beautiful properties.
I do. Yeah. And I'm drawn to, but this one has never left my mind. And I remember just going, oh my God, Chris, I'm not sure you even know what you have here, but you did. You picked it out. You know it. But this dirt deserves extraordinary in design and thought. And so now I just am loving these updates that I see glimpses of how this thing's coming together. And you're literally in the cover stage now, sheetrocking it. Yeah. Tell me about this process of, I want to call it almost fiduciary to the land.
Yeah, I agree.
And the process of building your first home that you will occupy. Yeah. I don't know. That's a sacred experience to build any home. But somebody builds version, I'm going to say it different. Somebody's built a version of building a home. I'm not demeaning it, but it's like, okay, they go into a plat. Yeah. All right, we like this lot. They hire the builder and they drive by it, 6 times and then it's done. Yeah. Okay. And it's one of 4 models that you can build here. Pick the model you want. Yeah. Again, it's beautiful and it's still a process and it's exciting and there's your new home. This is different. This is almost like, and maybe people would have to feel and see this setting, but it's almost like there's a lot of responsibility here to put on this place something that blends with this setting is so amazing. Mm-hmm. So when I heard you were building, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait, because you get this. I can tell you feel it. Yeah. Tell me about this process.
Wow, it's been a long process. It's been a long. When I saw this piece of land, I made an offer on it years back. It was 12 years now. Right. And I knew I didn't have the vision for it at that day because it's so special. It's in the middle of town, tucked into Whatcom Falls Park. There's trails and waterfalls in the backyard. Right. It's backed up to 248 acres. Right. And to the north is the Lake Whatcom. You could walk there and or drive there in seconds, put your boat in the water. Yeah. Or you could bike up just a few minutes and have world-class mountain biking at Galbraith Mountain. Right. And it's perfect for me. Right. So it wasn't till a couple years ago that I decided I knew what I wanted to build. And it's an odd lot because it is a little narrow, even though it's immersed into nature. Mm-hmm. And so zoning has changed. we're soon to be able to build 4 units on a single family lot in Bellingham and many places in Washington. This particular home is set up that it could have 4 units, but I'm building 3 units on one lot. It's got 2 ADUs on the ground floor, and over 1,700 square feet with 18-foot ceilings on the second floor, and
do people even realize how tall that is?
Yeah.
I mean, 18 foot.
Yeah.
Go look at something 18 feet. That's up there.
It's tall. It's tall, and it's and I think it's special. I always wanted something special for people that were visiting, or if I decided to sell it, like who is the buyer for this property if I sold it. And
I want you to call me when you think you want to sell that. I probably am going to have to head up there and talk you out of it.
Yeah. I don't.
It might be one that you'd forever regret if you ever sold it.
Probably would. Those 2 lower units should pay for the house.
Right. Yeah.
And we're putting an RV pad in there, which my friend down the street's making about $1,000 a month just renting his RV pad out.
Right.
I probably rent it out just for the weekend to mountain bikers.
Yeah.
And I imagine mountain bikers or hikers or boat people that wanted to take their boat on the lake would probably rent the Airbnbs on the bottom or the vacation rentals on the bottom.
Yeah.
So what do you want to know about it?
Well, it's construction is construction, but design is a heartfelt kind of thing. And you've already said a lot of what you're trying to do with this, which I think it's one of these rare opportunities. It's got a rare piece of dirt. And you talk about Whatcom Falls Park, and it's like, well, you feel like you're in a National Geographic photo shoot just being on that lot.
Yeah.
Okay. But then here's the next thing that I think is really unique is that it's going to be where you live. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. But it also has this ability with these ADUs to carry itself.
Yeah.
Wow. Now you don't hear that very often.
No, so
that's amazing in this setting because it's not only able to, those things will be booked constantly. When this gets discovered and you start doing a photo shoot of this property and putting it out there, I don't think there'll ever be a vacancy in this place.
Probably not. I think it's a romantic setting. Like you use the word romantic
Yeah,
often.
Yeah.
I want to fix up these little vacation spots like as if you're going to the spa.
Right. Right.
Where there's a hot tub and cold plunge outside for everybody.
Right.
Fire pits, hammocks, and just clean, modern interiors.
Yeah.
But warm.
Right.
And a place where you're excited to go to and may not want to leave. I like to have it be like a really nice hotel experience, but yet you don't have all those neighbors.
Right. To me, Chris, I love that this took you, a decade of thinking on and planning because it shows respect for this piece of dirt.
I wish I started earlier. I probably could have afforded it earlier. I just didn't have the vision.
Right. Well, and that's part of the process. This takes that kind of respect. You don't need a lot of vision to do certain projects. There's the lot. There it is. They're all the same. Build something here. But this one really takes that kind of respect. And I love that you're giving that. Then the design comes in. Does it blend in? Does it feel this? What you're describing is exactly what, oh my God, I can just see it done.
Yeah.
So,
and it's the home is for entertaining too.
Yeah.
I've changed up the kitchen design a few times, and the final one is like we have a 12-foot by 6-foot island table that's also the dining table, and then I found these doors, these sliding doors that takes the living area and opens it up, slides all the way down to one side, and opens the indoor living area to the outdoor living area, and it's like it feels like your living room is in the forest at that point in time.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's, yeah. Well, I've had the privilege of this experience, and I know that at times in the middle of it, when it's this heartfelt, when it's this detailed, that it can feel overwhelming. It just can feel like you're drowning in because this is art. It doesn't move quickly. It's not like some production house.
It's taken a few months longer than I was hoping.
Yeah.
And it's had its overwhelming moments. This is my first house that I'm building for myself, like you said. And, and it's 3 units. And so there's so my subcontractors, they're all residential subcontractors. Most of them haven't built multifamily. And what we're finding out is some of the code that applies to this is a multifamily code. So just a little bit of extra drywall in certain places, like wrapping around the vents and whatnot. And
fire codes
really step in. And so we've had to go backwards on a couple steps. But luckily it wasn't anything major. Probably cost me an extra $2,000 to go backwards. But, and probably several more $1,000 just, having the double layer drywall and whatnot. But I think it's all worth it. What I'm finding is, cause I do work in sales primarily, that it can be a little bit much when you're out there, hustling and having fun in your career. And so I was lucky enough, I know a lot of really great subcontractors. And I learned hiring a good project manager alongside you. And then, so I have a project manager on the job, and he's lit fire on it. I think the thing is moving along twice as fast as it was happening by myself.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that. So I on the next one that I do, I'm going to make sure that I hire a project manager.
I love that. On the next one.
Yeah.
See, you're loving seeing something come out of the ground.
Oh, I'm ready. I've identified a couple lots already, but I'm going to pull the trigger once this is done.
Yeah.
And awesome. Then, I feel like I have really great taste in aesthetics, but not good enough. I know it's good. I don't know. I learned I don't necessarily how to do it. So hiring a great interior designer. So I hired Michael Bruce Styling in Bellevue to help me design the whole interior as far as all the materials, colors, and everything. And it was just a really enjoyable process to walk through with them.
Did you get him involved in for example, like low voltage lighting and under counters and under stairs and things like this kind of?
A little bit, not as much as I probably do on the next one. The thing that I lacked on this is experience.
Yeah. But how do you get experience? You do it
by doing it. Yeah. And luckily I've created a lot of great relationships with these different subcontractors, some of them over the years, some more recently, but everybody's been kind of guiding me but I've been listening.
Yeah.
And so on the next one, I'm going to go in with my project manager. I'm going to go in with a secondary person bidding everything, checking the budget, and then also having the designer work with the architect right away. But I've learned even good architects don't know all the details. I've found so many details to correct.
Yeah.
And so one thing I learned is bring your set of plans to each one of your contractors and don't just have them bid it, but talk about it.
Right.
The fascia and the barge on my property, when it was time to build it, or when it was finally framed in, everything was different sizes. And I couldn't understand, why would the architect do that? Do you know why?
No, probably not. I'd have to see it.
Yeah. So, so they did, but you know what? Luckily I had a really great roofer, and we made that correction and we wrapped everything and we filled in, made sure the boards were all the same size after the fact, and wrapped everything in metal. This thing is bulletproof. It's made for somebody that does not want any maintenance.
Yeah. I think that you make a really great point there in that you have the left brain world of tradesmen. They they know construction.
Mm-hmm.
And they know what works, and they know what's solid, and they know how to do it right.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes you get the right brain world of architecture and design.
Yeah.
And to build a great home, both worlds have to mesh. And this is where feedback from the contracting side, the trades side, many times, the trade will come out and they'll look at a set of plans and go, okay, I'll build it the way you want it to, but I can tell you that if we do it this way, this is going to be a problem downstream. Here's how I'd like to build it, that for these reasons, it's going to last forever.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be much more solid. Or I don't really like this material in this place because of this. And they're the ones that truly know that all the time. And I think that marrying those two worlds, and really so everybody's in agreement with how, not what to do, but how to do it too, that now you're going to create something that is really timeless and solid and maintenance free and all those things,
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
Spending another week or so slowing down the process at the beginning and even spending, who knows, $5, $10, $15, $20 more $1,000 planning ahead with all the right people. Will save you a lot of time.
Yeah.
Which is money, and and it will also save you from little mistakes along the way. But the next one I'll be taking this experience, and I could foresee a lot of the issues I ran into on this one.
Yeah. I'm looking at this model sitting over in the corner over there under the glass case. That was built to scale before we even cleared the lot, because the ability to visualize all of the various levels of that, I just couldn't do it unless it was in 3D in a model.
Yeah.
And so not only was the model built, but then the architecture, engineering, and design, and the tradesmen all putting together a set of plans, that took over a year before we even cleared the lot of that house. And the pre-planning, like literally over $1 million of pre-planning before we even scraped the lot.
I can't even imagine that.
So that when you went, though, everybody was in agreement. Now, just build it exactly as these plans and drawings show, because everybody is signed off. Every tradesperson, the electrician, the plumber, the stonemasons, the copper guys, everybody. And so you got something now that everybody went, wow, now let's build it.
And I'm sure that's rare to have that.
Well, it's a privilege. It really is a privilege. And I think every one you do, you learn more, you get better and better. But I think that you're ahead of your time getting that at this stage. You're getting that, and so it's really cool to see it being done on such a beautiful lot. And
thank you.
And it should be one that you just keep forever, because believe me, amazing pieces of dirt like that, I've probably seen a dozen in my life that I have that kind of reaction to, like, oh my gosh, almost like, oh gosh, this just deserves an amazing effort. It
just fell right in my lap.
Wow.
Wasn't even looking.
Incredible.
But I knew the moment I saw it.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing. And you were smart enough to take action. And I love that you're loving the process, because anytime we bite off something that is new, there's part of you that feels like you're choking. It's just, that's what learning is. Yeah. That's what growth is. It's like growing pains. But what a privilege that your success in the brokerage world has allowed for you to focus here and to do this. So, choke. I have an ism that says choking is the privilege for those who do that most people wouldn't.
Yeah.
It's a privilege to choke.
Yeah.
And when we frame it that way, we kind of go, and we go, thank you. that I get to do this, you know?
Yeah. There's been some moments in it already. And, you know, I'll be a little over budget, but luckily I'll be able to take care of it.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and some of it's by choice because I think the home just deserves a little bit more.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
so just spending an extra few thousand here and there is intentional because otherwise I'm going to have to go back and fix it.
Do it really right once. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic. Another part of being such a young dad is that you've been a self-reliant entrepreneur for a lot of years.
Yeah.
And yet here you are, you know, 46 years old. You're so young. But you've got all this experience under your belt. Tell me what the next decade looks like for you. Where do you go from here when you're this age, but you've already owned businesses and brokerages and what's the next chapter look like? Because you're a big thinker. You're a visionary. You're always thinking bigger pictures. What does the next big picture look like?
Yeah, well, thank you. This is a great question. You know, first of all, my previous part of my life is like I've always just did what was in front of me and just do your best and try to make the most of it while taking risks. You know, it's not like I didn't make decisions to start businesses, but I was just doing what I knew. Mm-hmm. At this age, I'm 46 years old. It's probably the most exciting page I feel like I'm about to turn because I realize I do have all this experience now, and I do realize like at this moment I'm in great health. You know, I'm not taking care of anybody but myself at the moment. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I'm about to choose some of the most exciting things in this next year to the next 10, 20 years. Mm-hmm. And one is, you know, I'm going to kick it off by I'm going to finish this property and it's going to pay for itself. Yeah. And, you know, I know you got a lot of students that do extravagant things, but, you know, we all have our own life. And this is honestly in a league by itself because it's the best of all worlds. Yeah. It's filling this personal, it's personal use property, and you could leave for 3 years and it would make money because if you leased your space, this thing's a money maker. But I think so that kicking that off is the first thing. And I do know that I want to build one more and I could see building one at a time. You know, I don't need to do a lot, but I do want to do another quality one, find another, hopefully a unique lot. They are hard to come by.
Very.
And, but it's something different and try to do my best on that one as well. Yeah. Create something beautiful, whether it's 800 square feet or more. And, so I've identified one. If it's still around at that time, then I'll make a run at it. Yeah. And the next is, you know, I'm diving back into power players. Yeah. You know, I've
about that. You've already been. Yeah. You've been a coaching student, and now you're returning to power players, which of course you can always repeat power players, but here you're coming back to take it again here in a month.
Well, you know, I've learned from you and I utilized the skills that you've taught me for my clients mostly. You know, I've done a couple flips. I'm not a flipper. You know, I did fine, did well on one and did okay on another one. And but the skill set that I want to reignite that again. And I want to utilize that for the commercial real estate world. I'm really, at this point, I'm making a decision. I've made a decision to go into commercial 100%. I'm not going to let go of my real estate, my residential stuff, but I want to become a buyer in commercial. And over maybe hopefully the next 12 months, I'll identify one. And we'll see what it is. It's probably going to be a multi-tenant. I really love triple net properties. And most likely it'll be in the state of Washington, something I could drive by. And I see that. And opportunities are already presenting themselves, and so that's a good indicator something will happen.
Right.
And
you've put that intention out there.
Yeah.
Which is why opportunity is starting to show itself.
Yeah. They're already happening. So they're already presenting themselves. Mm-hmm. Nothing that I'm going to move on yet. But you never know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do know I want, take the right step forward. Mm-hmm. And, I could imagine, purchasing more than one commercial property over the years and turning that into my next personal game. You know, you've been a great mentor and listening to your other students and shaking hands and listening to their stories, really inspiring to have access to peek in the window of these people's lives and for them to want to share enough for you to be like, this is possible.
Yeah.
You know, they're doing it and they're just like me, just like any of us.
Yeah.
And, I could taste it.
You know, I really, the toolbox, the essential toolbox that we go into real deeply at Power Players, I see it daily playing itself out in something as simple as a single family acquisition and as complex as a, $40 million commercial building.
Yeah.
And I literally could drive you to both those locations right this minute of how in the last month this toolbox, because the toolbox is a toolbox. But what ignites it is how we think, our philosophy.
Yeah.
And you know that. You've got that down. You've got a mindset. So it's now just, I think, becoming refamiliar with that this toolbox has horsepower. Also being connected with another amazing group that's coming to Power Players.
Yeah.
And there's several returning people that are there for the same thing. Like, okay, now we want to go to that next level. And isn't that what growth is?
Yeah.
Growth is about pushing to the next place.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I'm ready to push to the next place, but I'm more intentionally choosing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a big project, another one in Bellingham that I'm working on with this developer that's from Ireland, and it's over $100 million listing. It's 103 luxury condos and 33,000 square feet of commercial space, plus another 60,000 square feet next to it. And my goal is to sell this completely out, and we're doing it. I'm over halfway on the first building.
Right.
And
how many people have ever considered in the brokerage world? We know 100 of them between. How many people have even considered $100 million listing? But I think that's a mindset thing, like that says somebody's going to do this.
Yeah,
I'm going to show myself capable, and I've got it. Let's go.
And I'm gearing up. I'll have more over the next month on what I'm doing next on with all of that. And but it's the other thing is just to keep surrounding myself with bigger thinkers.
Yeah,
and I want to give them value, but not just bigger thinkers, but people that I feel like give me energy, that inspire me. Right. That have complementary values, and just keep meeting those people. Yeah. One of the ways that I'm doing that is the podcast. I started a podcast, and
to me, it's a radio show, but one and the same in a sense. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I want to hear about the radio show, and I call it a radio show because I actually got to go to the radio studio and go, this isn't a podcast, this is a radio show.
So I got a show called Made of More, and it's at a radio station called KKNW in the radio station there in Bellevue, in Victoria. And I interview entrepreneurs that have an interesting story. I got to interview youth.
What a privilege. Yeah.
And and This is also an opportunity for me to better myself, because public speaking and being on podcasts, it's not easy for me. I'm not a natural speaker. I'm an introvert. And so this is one of my ways of self-development, and who am I going to be 12 months from now after having a radio show? And am I going to be a better speaker? Am I going to be more comfortable?
Yeah.
Am I going to not have anxiety after a year? And so those are the things for me in that. Then, and I get to listen to these stories, and hopefully I get to help them be known better, and their business gets out there a little bit more. And one other thing is, maybe they inspired somebody to do something bigger and better,
right?
Or to discover if they're made of a little bit more, like the name. So so I'm just wanting to test myself over the next call it decade.
Yeah. Well, at least my version of an abundant life is our ability to go upward and outward. Our mindset opens a bigger door of possibility. We create bigger intentions. We see opportunity. Our toolbox gets better, and we get bigger results. And results redefine our belief system. So we get an upgrade. Yeah. Every time we get results, it upgrades our belief system. And so the next lap, it's upward and outward, upward and outward.
Yeah.
And what I am offended by, and what I see everywhere, is sameness, where this year looks exactly like last year, et cetera, rinse and repeat, and then it's over. And this is where this ism of growth is the grail, and sameness is the enemy. It's where that became very clear in my mind, that there's two ways to go. Grow, and it's painful.
Yeah.
Or stay the same, and that's hell. And so I don't know. I really admire. You talk of made of more. Well, the made of more people, they don't stay the same. Yeah. They're pressing, they're learning, they're reinventing, they're trying new things, they're experimenting, they're innovators.
I call it intentional evolution.
Intentional revolution. I've never heard that phrase, but
I said evolution, but maybe revolution's even better. Yeah.
Well, both of them work.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I love that, because it's like a self-declaration of war. Like, we're not staying here. We're going, and it may be partially unknown. As a matter of fact, it may be a lot unknown, but we're going to go.
Yeah.
And we're going to learn, and we're smart, and we're going to use common sense, and I trust my instincts to navigate. But that discovery of finding what's inside of here that hasn't come out yet. What am I capable of? Really capable of?
Yeah.
I'm challenged by you. I know that you have at least upcoming in the future, a trip back to the Philippines. To connect and to explore and to learn that culture more, because it's your roots. But of course, even doing something like that, to walk into a culture that you don't know the language, you know what I mean? It's a whole different thing. I admire those that go, well, let's see how this goes. I'm going to learn, that's for sure.
That's right. We don't have any other choice, really, do we?
I don't. Yeah. I don't think you do, right? But I do think people, maybe by subconscious default, this idea of being comfortable, of, okay, I got it just right, don't change the temperature. I got it just like I want it. No. Nothing good happens there. Growth doesn't happen there. And so, I don't know. I think that this is 50 years for me now of doing this full time.
Yeah.
Of being self-unemployed for 50 years. Just trying to figure out navigate the next day. But to not be afraid, have faith that I have what it takes to navigate, even if I haven't seen it. I'm not afraid. I may get butterflies. I may be over my skis, but it's not going to stop me.
Yeah.
You know,
I think it's okay to fall down.
I see that in you.
I think it's okay to fall down. A lot of people, I could look back in my past and be like, what? I'd be afraid to do that. Or how, you didn't do it right. You know what? I still did it.
That's it.
I did it. And you know what? Now I can do it even better.
Right.
And, and if I like it, I could just keep doing it.
Right.
And I think people are afraid of being laughed at or feeling like, somebody's going to think they're stupid but in reality, like, we're all just like kids, we had to learn to walk.
Right.
And hopefully you didn't laugh at your kid for falling, No. Hopefully you were encouraging but at some point in our life, like, we forget that. Mm-hmm. And I think it's healthy to remember, like, it's okay to fall down because that's a part of growth. That's a part of learning. And you've said it before. I've heard it said many times. There's no real failure unless, like, you decide it's a failure.
Right.
Otherwise it's education. I could look back on my entire life, and any hard moment was an educational moment that made me get better or stronger or faster. If I decided that it was an educational moment, it was only a failure if I made it a failure.
Right. That's true. That's true, Chris. Well, I'm so appreciative of your willingness to just put yourself out there. And this Made of More podcast, radio station, however you want to call it, I'm excited to have people know how to tune into that. How do people get a hold of you? What's the best way they can connect with you?
I still like the phone.
Yeah.
Also. So, my number's 360-739-4236. If you just want to start following, you just go on Instagram. We're about to start posting the reels and whatnot, but it's Made of More Show on Instagram.
Made of More Show on Instagram. And Chris Erdmann is, I want to say, Northwest known, but you could look him up Bellingham to Bellevue. I mean, you're covering a lot of ground these days in this transition that you're moving towards commercial, but everything under the umbrella of real estate brokerage, you really are up to your neck. You know it. So,
that's real estate's one of those things, like, you can change your career many times and still be in real estate.
Yes.
Yes. You could be an agent if you want.
Yeah.
You could become a brokerage owner if you want. You could be a team owner. You could do commercial real estate. You could be in finance. You could be that flipper. You could be that builder.
Yeah.
Or you could do it all.
Yep.
And then you could redefine yourself some other way, but and all staying in real estate
under the umbrella.
Yeah. It's just this journey that as soon as I got in, I realized that I could, if I'm bored somewhere, I could become something else.
Whole nother division.
And still never leave.
Right. Yeah. I've likened the two passions of my life, real estate and aviation, and neither one have a ceiling. Yeah. You always realize that there's so much more you don't know. There's so many parts of this that you're completely unfamiliar with. And so there's no ceiling. And therefore, I couldn't imagine under either umbrella ever getting bored because there's just too much to know. And that's the exciting part. It's a lifetime that you can spend learning and growing. So
exactly.
You're doing it, buddy.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. I know you have a birthday party this evening.
I do, yeah.
For this beautiful daughter, 30 years. Congratulations to you for being a dad for 30 years, to her for being 30 years old. But thank you again for being here. And for those of you listening to this podcast, thank you again so much for tuning in. You know how to connect with me. This is Pinneo. Over now.